Hey Mo,
Hey Ricky, how you doing?
good. The doctor is in.
The doctor is in. Happy hump day. This has been a heck of a week. I'm telling you already.
It's a week. It's a
It
week.
is. It is. It's a Wellness Wednesday. Time to focus on some good news, some mentoring, some inspirational things. And I think today's show is a really good example of how to leverage the magic of our younger generation, right? The millennials, the zennials. I'm not sure what's after that, but I think that it's so important for us to honor the work that they do and that they bring to the table, especially with respect to technology, especially with respect to getting these messages out there. Like, we got to start with the younger generation. And this is a powerful show today. So I am excited. I see we have with us Ariana Apodaca. I said it right. Hey,
Thank you, Dr. Mom.
I love you.
But Mo, I know, so glad Ari's here. But we really had this idea a couple of years ago about how do we have these conversations with our young women. And frankly, I remember when Amanda and Haley came to me and said, "Mom, I want birth control." I'm like, "Why? Why do you want birth control?" But when you get to that conversation with your mom, you should be talking about breast health. Yeah. That first gynae appointment, you have the first selfie or the first exam. And I know that these lovely young women are going to bring these conversations not only to their peers, but to their families. And when we have these horrible numbers about breast cancer in young Black women, we know the numbers suck. I don't want to talk about them, but we need to talk about it. We need to be checking our breasts, and how better to do it with lovely young women who are brilliant. So our interns, basically, they work for us for 10 weeks. They come in, and sometimes they come back. We can talk about that, right? And they post on social media, and they talk it up with their peers. They talk to their mamas, and so we're going to see what they're talking about. So this is actually our third group this year. We've had 15 already this year. Isn't that amazing?
Wow, that's incredible.
And so we kind of scooped up our little Ariana, my baby TNC breasty sister, and said, "Ari, this is your program." And so she's been running the show here on keeping our interns motivated and inspired and knowledgeable about what to talk about. And so, Ari, go. This is your show.
Well, hi everyone. As y'all know, I'm the touch baby. I am the 22-year-old two-time breast cancer survivor. I love Ricky so much, and Dr. Mo, and I just thank them so much for giving me this opportunity to coordinate the interns. So I'm the intern coordinator, and I'm just going to let all my interns kind of introduce themselves, starting with our senior intern, Sydney.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney Piro, and I'm a sophomore psychology major at Howard University. And this is my second time doing the internship. So, yeah.
I can go next. Hi, my name is Deja. I am a sophomore nutritional science major bio minor from Howard University, and I'm so excited to be here, and this is my first year.
And I'll go next. I'm Kayla Dixon. I am a junior at Norfolk State. My major is psychology of education. Right now, I'm assistant at a private school. This is my first time joining part of the program. I'm loving it so far, and thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for being here. This is incredible. Yeah. All right, I got a question for you. How do you figure out what topics, and how do you work out some curriculum? Is it current events? Is it the months? What informs some of the education that we're doing?
Well, typically, people are like, what should I post when I'm posting on my story? So thank God that we've had past interns. So I do like to reference their pages a little bit. And some of our past interns have been assigned specific topics. And so I tried to get one intern of each different topics to reference. And I just want people to be just, a little bit more creative, because I feel like a lot of the breast information that we see sometimes can be a little bit wordy and kind of complex for people that aren't on, kind of the medical side. And so we try to do some of those fun, short examples and things that they could just find. So I try to give them a little bit of some references, and I hope that I did well with that.
Yes, You did. During this time during the program, I would use in the beginning references as far as prevention, things to post, healthy things, lifestyle changes. I also talked about examining yourself in the beginning. Now I'm on to the different types of breast cancers, because in the beginning for my research, I only knew about just hearing about breast cancer, not hearing about the different genes in breast cancer, not hearing about the different types of breast cancer. So during this time, I got the chance to learn the different type of breast cancers, and people have DM'd me saying, thank you for spreading this knowledge. Thank you. It's allowed me to, want to ask my doctor, can she check my breast or things like that? And it's very, very pleasing, and I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Kayla, so what do you think you knew about breast cancer before you joined the internship?
To be honest, I heard more myths than factual things. Like, I wasn't aware of, say, for example, my mother was pre-diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 0, and she was able to take out the breast cancer, and now she's on medication. And before, I wasn't aware of how inheriting breast cancer can be. And the information, like recently, maybe a couple of days ago, I posted and I learned that I am double the times of getting breast cancer because my mother is, she's dealing with it right now. So I learned that I'm double the times, including my sister and things like that. So that was interesting to learn.
Did you have
two
genetic
different
tests? Did your mom
Zooms?
have-
I actually had 3 appointments at the same time
Ooh,
today.
Val, can you mute yourself?
Hey, Val, can you mute yourself,
So
Val?
I have one Zoom going, this one,
Val?
and the other one I couldn't do it because that's an in-person something.
I think you can mute her, Ricky.
I'm gonna try. I can't hear. Hey,
Yeah,
Val.
you
So are
can.
they gonna be upset that you're not attending to them?
Hey, Val, can you mute yourself? Hey,
It
Val,
might be. Yes,
can you
You can
mute
do it.
yourself?
We're live on Facebook.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Mhm.
can hear you. You're talking.
Okay. Hey,
We're live on Black Doctor.
Hey, Val. Hey, Val, can you mute yourself? I'm trying to mute her.
yeah, I think, am I muted now?
No,
Okay, wait.
we're live.
We got greetings from the Erica J. Holloman Foundation for the awareness of triple negative breast cancer. Did you guys know anything about triple negative breast cancer?
I just found out about that as well.
If you had
Yeah.
to explain it to somebody, how would you tell them what that is? Because that's, and it's not a pop quiz or anything, but it's like a really, it's a hard concept, right? Like it's not something that's just like, oh, it's 3 minuses. Like, what does that mean?
As far as I'm understanding, it's a part of the division and mutation of cells. And I believe that has to do with a lot of the breast cancer. I'm not exactly sure of the definition, but if that is correct, so let me know.
Okay, and before we answer, because I feel like all of us can answer this, I want to hear Deja and Sydney's answer as well.
I would say it's one of the most.
Sorry, y'all.
Well, Sydney, if you want to go first.
I was just gonna say it's like one of the most aggressive forms of breast cancer. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I would piggyback off that. And having learned about it, I also learned that it's a lot more common in Black women. And that was something that surprised me the most, having been the most aggressive one out there and it being most common among Black women. That was very surprising to me, being a Black woman and not even knowing exactly about it.
Do you want to explain what triple negative is, Dr. Mo?
All right, let me see if I can do it easy way or the way that makes
I feel like I do have a little easy definition that I put on
Oh.
a PowerPoint.
Well, you do
But
yours.
I want to
do
hear
yours.
you.
You do yours. Yeah, you do yours.
Sorry, because you had it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So as you guys know, there's different subtypes of breast cancer. So you could be triple negative. So there's 3 hormone receptors that you have when you have breast cancer. Those hormone receptors can cause the cancer to grow. So there's different forms of treatment. So you can get like hormonal therapy and things like that. But if you're triple negative, those 3 hormone receptors are no use. In simpler terms, So the three would be estrogen, proestrogen, and HER2. So all three of those are. Dr. Mo, you want to
Mic drop.
piggyback onto that?
Yeah, you did great. I explain it to patients like toll booths on the PA Turnpike or ticket boxes, you know, at the movie theater when you go to do your tickets. But I like the turnpike because if you have the hormone receptor, when we look at the cancer cells under the microscope, we're looking for these three little stations on the outside of the cell. And if you have them, then we know that that cell is responding to certain things like estrogen. So estrogen is like your dollar. And if you got a toll booth, then we know you're using dollars. So some of the medicines are targeted at taking away your dollars so you don't make new cancer cells grow, so you don't go through more toll booths. And so for a person who doesn't have those receptors, it's like they're in the easy pass lane or like the express lane. You know, I don't know what they have in Texas. What do they call it? They don't call it easy pass.
The toll road.
Yeah, the one where you don't have to pay the tolls. You just keep going right through, right? And so because you don't have to stop, you're not using dollars. You can't block the dollars or the estrogen as a treatment. You can't give them a pill because their cancers are more accelerated. They're growing faster and they don't have the same stops that some of the other cancers do. So that's kind of how I explain it, you know, is that if you're using dollars, great, we'll take away those dollars and we give you a pill. If you're not using dollars, taking away your dollars and giving you a pill would be useless. So you have to get something like a chemotherapy because that's the only thing we can give you. And so not having those receptors makes your cancer more aggressive, faster through the express lane.
Yep, I would say one thing that I think about triple negative is it's the only breast cancer subtype that doesn't have a drug to prevent recurrence. So, and you know, the data shows that Black women of all breast cancers, we have a 39% recurrence rate than white women. And so a lot of that I believe is attributable to triple negative because it comes back so quickly, like Ari's did. Hers came back in a year, so did mine. So I think that's what makes us special and makes us different because we hear from a lot of young women too, that they'll go to a breast cancer support group and it'll be kind of all 50-year-old white women who are complaining about tamoxifen, which is a very common drug to prevent other kinds of breast cancer. Well, we can't take tamoxifen, it doesn't do anything for us. So, you know, tamoxifen, I think, makes you have hot flashes and a lot of like hormonal issues and like menopausal issues. But we can't, you know, they're complaining about that. Well, we can't even get there because we don't have a drug to take. So, you know, I think, you know, triple negative just makes us special, right? Like me and Ari, right? So you guys, I know that a lot of you, you know, I asked you all to sort of have conversations with your mom, with your moms. And I know I said I kind of was in on yours a little bit, but can you talk a little bit about when you talk to your mom about breast health, how did those conversations go? What'd you talk about? How'd you start them? And Val joined us. Hey, Val, are you on with us? Okay. Or you on mute? We put you on mute because you were making noise.
Moving around a lot.
Yeah.
I was. I'm sorry.
We're live. Okay, so go ahead, Sid.
All right. So yeah, last time I talked to my mom, and so I was just trying to get a gauge of her general knowledge of breast cancer, like what she knew just in general, if she knew anybody who had it, did it run in our family. And she was more proactive about it than I thought. Like she does her monthly like self-check exams, which I had no idea at the time. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like you didn't tell me to do that. But it's okay because through this process, I do now. And she was just giving her general knowledge of what she knew. It wasn't like she could tell off like stats or anything, but for the most part, she knew a good amount and how much worse it affected Black women as well. But this time I interviewed.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, this time I interviewed my grandmother actually to see what she knew and just kind of compare perspectives considering she's much older. And so she talked about how like back, let's say she's my age, or it wasn't really talked about, like just people getting breast cancer, or if people were getting it, they weren't saying anything. And so, yeah, but she was also saying just, she also does her breast check exams. And she gave me a tip without knowing, she gave me a tip because she said she has a chart in her shower. And so she just looks at it and goes. I'm like, okay, well, that's very helpful because if I just saw something staring at me in the face every day, I would do it too. So
That's
I've
great.
been telling y'all about these charts. That's literally how I started examining myself. I mean, I was like a kid, 6 or 7, staring at the chart in the shower, but they just don't make those anymore. Or they're not hand out as often. Like, I don't see them at all anymore.
We're gonna make some for you. We're gonna make some for you. But I want you guys to help me make it. Help me design it, okay? 'Cause
Ricky,
we
I've
have
already
one.
thought this whole thing. I thought the
Okay,
whole thing
all right.
out.
So tomorrow, that's our project. That's our project.
Love it
So
so
going
much.
back to first, one more second. So your mom though had it in her shower, but she had never shown it to you before?
It's
not
actually
my mom. My
Oh, not me.
Grandma.
Your grandma, your
Mhm.
grandma. Yeah, but she never shown it to you before. Interesting, huh?
I have no
And
idea.
mine was similar too. It was my grandma's shower, not my mom's. So I don't know if
Your
it
grandma,
just skips that generation.
Yeah, yep. So
Yeah, I learned a lot from my grandmother as well. She also like stressed the importance of like the older you get getting your mammograms, but not even just the older you get, like now. And and she also said that she feels, which I want to get you guys' opinion because I'm not sure, but people with like denser breasts, she said to eat, sometimes doctors will have to do further testing.
great.
And so she was also stressing that she feels a lot of people don't know. So yeah.
That's a really, really great point. And even a lot of doctors don't know what to do about breast density. And it's scary for people because having extra dense breasts is not so much the thickness when you do the exam, it feels thick. It has to do with the amount of white stuff on the screen, on the computer screen, when you get your mammogram. The whiter it is, the more snow. It's like looking at a cotton candy. You can't see in there because you have too much dense tissue or too much white stuff over top of it. And so those are women who should probably get things like ultrasounds and sometimes MRIs. But nobody tells you what your breast density is, and Black women on average tend to have almost 30% denser breasts than white women. And so if we're not talking about that breast density, it's some imaging that we might be missing out on. And so that's a really, really great tip from your grandmother to even bring that up and talk about breast density, because
I know.
now we're required by law to tell people how dense their breasts are, but we don't tell them what to do about it.
Right. So Kayla, who did you talk to about this internship?
I talked to my mother. That's the only person that really could relate to the program. Earlier this year, she was pre-diagnosed with breast cancer, if I'm saying correctly. They found the cancer lump in her breast and removed it. She had surgery, and now she just takes medication every day to prevent that growing to reoccur and things like that. And she kind of was on the fence of not really knowing so much about it because she is fairly new to it. So am I. But I feel like I was feeling good being able to educate her myself on the stuff that I did learn during this time. Because I believe my mom was aware of, it affecting Black women more, but I don't think she was aware of, like I said, the different breast cancers besides what she's going through and things like that. So it was overall both educating for both of us.
Yeah. How old is your mom?
My mom will be 52 this year. I don't think she wanted me to tell you that, but yeah.
That's okay. We won't tell.
That's young.
Young.
52
She's
is
probably
young.
watching.
She's young.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. But she's young and interesting, that did you think you wanted to do this internship because of your mom's experience? Like what connected you?
To be honest, yes. When I found out, it was more of thing when you find out, oh, someone has breast cancer, the first thing you think is something bad. And, my mom raised me and it's just been always us. So me finding out, it was a little hard, but, her to letting me know the things and keep me updated that the doctors get, like letting her know that she needs to change her diet, exercise more and things like that. And just seeing her transition her lifestyle, it just makes me feel more comfortable with, the change and stuff. So
your mom talked to you about her breast cancer diagnosis as she was going through it. Do you remember that conversation?
we can get serious. We never really had a conversation, Dr. Mo. How I found out was So you know how sometimes as a young child you get a little nosy, and I thought she got some money in the mail, like a birthday mail, and it was actually a letter from one of her coworkers apologizing or just sending a sincere letter saying, sorry for what you're going through, and she gave her a breast cancer cup. So I'm home by myself and I'm automatically thinking, oh gosh, who is this? What's going on? What do I do? I called my mom. I said, is there something you would like to tell me? And she's like, no, what is it? I said, I honestly went through your mail and I found something that I'm really sad about. And she said, you read the letter? And I said, yes. And she said, I'll be on my way home. And she sat and she talked to me. And it was a little upsetting at first because I'm very close with my mother and she lets me know everything and vice versa. So this is one thing that she didn't want to let me know because, I'm finishing school and she doesn't want to stress me out. But now I let her know that, like I'm older and I'm really close to my mom. So I let her know, please just let me know what's going on, update me. So now she calls me, she lets me know that a doctor visit went well. Every time she goes, she gets me scanning, so everything's been great since, but yeah, that's how I found out.
Wow. Did you ask her why? I mean, she just wanted you not to worry about her, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. And it's crazy because like one of the other interns said that for a long time, it's been something that hasn't been talked about because our ancestors, our older elders take care of our household. They don't want to let anyone know they're sick. They don't want to, change things. And I feel like that's what it kind of had to do with as well. My mom she wanted me to continue to focus on school, continue to focus on my career, my future. She didn't want whatever she's going through to deteriorate my path. So,
right.
Yeah.
So you said that you taught your mother some things that you knew that she didn't. What were they?
Like I said in the beginning, like I wasn't aware that there were different types of breast cancer, like inflammatory breast cancer, triple negative breast cancer. I wasn't aware of that. So I thought breast cancer had one name, one definition, like one thing. I wasn't aware of all the background of the gene mutation versus our normal cell mutation and things like that and how it causes the cancer.
Great.
Yeah, so it's been a interesting year, but getting involved in this program has introduced me to new friends, new information. It's very feels good to be aware and be able to spread that knowledge,
Great. Somebody tell me a friend story. What friend did you talk to that you feel like you enlightened?
I can go. I talked to a few friends on campus and some from back home. And it was very insightful because I don't know, last year I feel like I really learned that you kind of don't really pay attention to something if it doesn't pertain to you. So talking to different people, that was very evident because one of my best friends from home, like best friends, I found out that breast cancer like runs in her family. Like 4 generations of people on her mom's side have all had it and died from it. So she's had the conversation like early about like just breast health and staying on top of it, and her mom especially is just very like adamant with always staying on top of her health. And so that was a very insightful conversation, and I was like, well, we still have like something to gain from each other, but not as much as the conversations I had with some friends on campus here where they didn't really know a lot about anything pertaining to breast cancer. So it was insightful in both ways.
Wow. By the way, Deja sent us a note saying that there's a fire alarm went off in her dorm. So she had to leave the building. Wow.
Yeah, I told her we'd hear from her when she gets back in.
Yeah. Poor thing, right? So do you think that, young women your age even think about breast cancer? Like you guys are in a situation where we've kind of forced these conversations on you. Do you think you would have thought about it otherwise?
Maybe not have been as aware to make it a routine, but as far as going to the doctors and already getting checked on in my breast, I've already have been doing that before, the diagnosis of my mother. But as far as being aware of how, like I said in the beginning, how I am double the times now, I go more often. I read about things that can prevent it or reduce it, and try to eat more healthier and things like that.
I also want to pitch in on this just because I am a baby survivor. I feel like when I tell people that I'm a young cancer survivor, their eyes almost light up. So, and I feel like, honestly, even though my aunt had breast cancer, I mean, I was aware of breast exams and stuff like that. I still did not know a lot about breast cancer. Like, who knew what triple negative was? Like, I mean, I definitely didn't. And my grandma had triple negative. So, and also, what Kayla was saying about, her mom not wanting to tell her. And I feel like I even felt that being a survivor. Like my first time, I feel like, I mean, I was avoiding seeing my friends because I felt like I looked sick and I just wasn't the same. And I lost all my hair and just like, things like that. So I really wanted to keep it a secret. And then the second time I got diagnosed, I was already in my program and we had just learned about every single cancer in the book and what causes it. And we got to know everything. And so I also didn't want to tell people the second time because I was like, I don't want my classmates diagnosing me. I don't want them, worrying about me. I didn't want people worrying about me because, a second diagnosis is scary for everyone. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that that was one thing I regretted during my first cancer journey was being so secretive. And I mean, the second diagnosis allowed me to open up. And I mean, if I would have never opened up, I would have never met Ricky and you, Dr. Mo. So.
And look at you now.
Look at
22, looking beautiful.
Thank you. Don't let me blush. Don't blush.
All is well.
So you guys, how do you think we can help more Black families? Because you see, everybody talked about somebody not wanting to talk about it, right? Maybe with the exception of you, Sid, but I think part of our issue with our Black families is that, we don't talk about health at the kitchen table. We don't talk about anything, until somebody's sick or dying, right? We always kind of keep these secrets. And I think a lot of it is what you hit on, Kayla, in terms of your mom didn't want you to worry about her. She wanted to make sure she knew that you were going to be okay and that you weren't going to, that she could take care of you, right? We're all these badass Purple Cape moms that we, God forbid that anything happened to our children and we want to take care of everybody and protect them and, make sure they know we're the strong one in the household. But it's killing us. These conversations we're not having are killing our families. So, part of why we did this internship is so that you guys could start these conversations with your moms and with your friends. But how can we do this more? How can we do this better? Like, what else can we do to reach out and make people kind of force these conversations? I feel like I Dennis the Menace college sticking up in my hair.
That's something I have to think about because I think as far as what you guys could do, I feel like you guys are on the right path because right now it's social media. So everyone is on their phones, everyone is on Instagram. So as far as getting it out there, it's getting out there because I've seen people follow you guys from me tagging you guys. I've seen people that I follow ask about the internship, what got me into it and things like that. So I think you guys are on the right path,
Thanks. We're trying.
How important is social media, I guess, in spreading of this type of good information? Is that the best way that you think to reach people right now?
Right now,
how important is social media? This is the social media era. Like you could go on social media to find anything. When I say anything, I mean anything.
Right. And even if someone looks at my story on accident, they've read it. So it's like, you've seen what I've posted. So that's all what I needed. So.
Yeah. Social media is a huge agent. Even if it's just a reaction to the story, they didn't necessarily see anything, a view, sometimes, so you skip through, but I believe especially being on campus this year, I see a real difference. And even I had a friend the other day reach out to me, how can I get involved? So
Yes, many people have
I
done that.
mean,
Yes, so that's awesome.
social media is the new newspaper. Like, don't nobody even read the newspaper anymore. They pick up, that's the first thing people do in the morning is pick their phone up and check it. So I mean, I feel like this is one of the best ways to spread the message, because I mean, ultimately I feel like it's really changing the culture of a Black household. You know, it's always very, very much secretive when it's about health, and just feeling like you have to carry the entire world or the entire family on your back. So I feel like it's really stepping out of a comfort zone as well, of just the typical cultured family.
And during that time, I feel like, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. During that time, I feel like whether you are on the end of receiving, the news of breast cancer and being that patient or being a family member, I feel like regardless, it's hard. And I feel like us or the program, being able to give out the information, it makes people comfortable to be able to talk about it. So like, for example, I put in the group chat a screenshot of one of my followers, and she went to an in-depth conversation about how her mother passed away from breast cancer a couple years ago and how it still has been hard on her. And I kind of looked at this, she was interested in it, and I kind of looked at it as like a good thing. Like, mourning doesn't always have to be in a bad, negative way. Mourning could be in a way of like, educating others, becoming aware of more things. And I was like, I'll talk, to you guys more about that. But she was very interested because she connects to it very, very, she relates to it very much. So she just wanted to continue helping out,
Did your mom get genetic testing, Kayla?
Say that again.
Did your mom get genetic testing when she was
Did she
diagnosed?
get genetic testing? I will have to ask her that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You should ask her that because
Okay.
yeah, because that will impact you and
Yeah, and I have
your
siblings as
family's-
well. I have a sister as well.
Yeah, she should get genetic testing just to make sure she doesn't have the breast cancer gene, and
Genes.
because that
Yep.
can implicate, how you could react to it and protect
Yes,
yourself
ma'am.
from it, from coming.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
That's another
question.
thing we need more in the medical field is genetic
Mhm.
counselors.
It's
Yup.
true.
My doctor told me to become one. I was like, sis, I'll pass the message along. It ain't for me, but I'll pass the message along.
It's an interesting field. It's a tough field, but it's one
Yeah.
that's so rewarding. I know they're starting to do
I
some
believe it.
some mentoring and some internships, because less than 4% of genetic counselors are people of color, and so when we talk about having those conversations about our genes, we're not really at the table as much as we could be. So if you guys are interested in that and having talks with genetic counselors and that sort of thing, we can make sure we make that happen for you, because the study of families, it almost forces you to face whatever's in your family, because now you have to like study and you got to write it down. And, patients come to see me and they're like, yeah, Uncle Joe and Aunt Bobby. And it's like, well, which side of the family was that? And they're not sure. And it's just something that we don't talk about in our families, for generations after generations. But it's really impactful to hear you guys talk about this. Do you think your families will talk about their health more as a result of this? Is this going to be like a change for the family, or, not so much?
I've kind of made my mom talk about it more because my mom is a very private person, whether it's health, whether it's personal. Mom's very private. So I've called her. I'm like, hey, did you know this? Were you aware of this? Oh, well, I'm here to tell you. So it's just like I've been able to, let her know. And it's a good feeling to, spread it, like I said before.
I love that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoy it. I have fun posting the colors and the memes and the like factual things. Like, it's fun.
And I feel like
Deja,
that's another thing that's important in the social
Mhm.
media era. You got to make it appealing to look at, or people
Right.
will literally just tap through
Mhm.
your story. So like if it has like the sparkles and the
Yes.
everything, like people will be like, wow, what is this sparkly thing right here? Like,
Uh-huh.
so
So Deja, we're glad you're safe, but was your building on fire? Oh my goodness.
I'm good. This happens way too often, but
Okay,
Welcome to
that.
college.
Freshman year. Yeah.
Right, welcome to college, welcome to college. So Deja, we were just talking about conversations with your moms and your friends. Can you talk about who you've talked to about breast cancer and what those conversations were like?
yeah, so I talked to my mom and my aunt like actually on like a group FaceTime because we have like group FaceTimes like every day. And I just like brought it up and I was like, hey, like, do we have like, because they've never talked to me about breast cancer, like the conversation has never come up. And I asked them, I was like, do we have a history of breast cancer? Like, is this something I should be worrying about? Because like having done the internship and like researching and learning all this facts is like this hits like way too like close to home. Like hearing also about Black women, it's just like, why haven't you guys talked to me about this? Like, why haven't we like had these conversations? And they were like, like they started to feel bad almost because they were like, like it's not in our family history. Like we would get our mammograms and like we've been fine, but we haven't like felt the need to like talk to you about it till like you become of age. And I was like, I'm 19, guys. Like I think I'm of age now to have this conversation. And now it's like kind of like open up the conversation for me to kind of educate them because they're both on Instagram, so they like see my stories all the time. And my aunt will call me and she'll be like, what, this is true? Like she's like, oh my gosh, like I need to go to my doctor, like I need to check this out, like I need to make sure I'm good. Because I was listening in, like I was on my phone when I was outside, and the thing you guys talking about dense breasts, like she has very dense breasts, and she was explaining to me that she has to get a 3D mammogram instead of a regular mammogram because they're so dense that they can't see any when it's a regular mammogram. So it was just like really enlightening to have the conversation. It's definitely opened up more conversation to like discuss it amongst ourselves, and it's definitely gonna change my mom's perspective on talking about it to I have two younger sisters, so I feel like it's definitely gonna change her perspective on opening up and like having the conversation, even though like we're not technically at risk, even though every woman is at risk, like you really don't like know, it can just come about. But I was like, it will definitely open up the conversation to have more conversations and be more open about it.
So you think if you weren't doing the internship and brought it up to your family, they wouldn't have talked about it?
Not at all.
What are you guys learning on your campuses about this? Are you having conversations on campus about breast cancer and awareness and breast health at all? Is that part of any of the campus events, activities, or curriculum?
I mean, during like breast cancer awareness month, you see like every like org put out like their posts like happy breast cancer awareness month. And then you see like some people, like I remember some of the organizations on campus had like basically like sign up to get a mammogram, and then another org had like the mammogram like truck come to the school, but it wasn't advertised very well. Like I found out about it afterwards, and I was like, oh, like this could have been really beneficial for a lot of like the young women on campus, but half of us didn't know about it. And it's like, not to say that like all this stuff should come out in like only in October because breast cancer awareness month, but I feel like it should be happening more regularly because a lot of people don't know about it. Like we should have a mammogram truck like once a month. Like it shouldn't be something that only happens in October. It shouldn't be something that's only brought to people's attention in October. And I feel like that's what a lot of these orgs at our school get caught up in. It's like October, breast cancer, we're going to talk about it now, and you're never going to hear about it again until next October.
Well, I have a question about that. About that specifically, bringing a mammogram truck to a college campus. I thought that younger women, it's not always recommended for them to get mammograms because they have really dense breast tissue. So it'd be really hard.
Exactly.
I mean, I just know because like when I get mammograms, I mean, I know my doctor just feels comfortable me doing it, but like they really can't see that much because your breast tissue is so dense. So like I don't know if that's like the I mean, I understand they want to advocate for breast cancer, but I don't know if that was like the best, form
Maybe
of
they
doing
have an
that.
ultrasound on that truck or something too. If they do, that would be appropriate for young women. But I guess it's a big giant billboard, basically to talk about these things and to, have the conversation. But mammograms, especially in women under the age of 30, really 25, 30 aren't indicated because it's why the self breast exam, I see somebody in the chat said, which is why the self breast exam is so important. And it's not even recommended anymore. But 80% of young women under the age of 50 find their own breast cancers. Under the age of 40 even. They find their own because they're not eligible for screening yet.
Yeah. That's why I wonder if the mammogram machines are for people who work at the college as opposed to the students.
Could
right?
be. Yeah. And just a
Um,
giant billboard and bring people over and give out information and set up a table,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
How did your friends react to the truck being there? Did they look at it? Did they ask a question? Did it impact them at all?
I didn't even know the truck was at our school till after the fact. So when you say lack of advertisement, it was really lack of advertisement.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Howard got a lot of lack of advertising right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, you guys are having some stuff going on there at Howard, right? Over the housing or whatever.
Yeah, I saw your little science labs, like the water spout where you like clean your eyes and stuff with. I saw it was like green, brown water coming out of the thing. I was like, ooh, Howard looking a little. I was like, I gotta ask my interns how they're doing. I was like, whoa.
I don't know about that one.
Just support your HBCUs when you graduate.
Mhm. Mhm.
Support your HBCUs when you graduate. I think that's.
Is there research on your campuses that you guys are aware of? Does anybody make you aware of research opportunities for you to participate in? Like when I went to FAMU, I worked in a Parkinson's disease lab with rats. And yeah, it was like how it sounds. But it was my opportunity to get exposed to science and bench research. Do you guys get posts for that sort of thing, especially for breast cancer? I'm thinking Howard, the universities that you guys are part of. Is there research going on there?
We're definitely a heavy research institution, but I feel as if to find these research opportunities, you have to seek it out for yourself. Like if they are posting about research opportunities, it'll be on Handshake, like apply here. But for like in-house, I feel like you just have to advocate for yourself and see what's happening.
Interesting, huh? Maybe we can create some more research opportunities,
And psychological type research too. It doesn't all have to be bench and basic science research. We got a bunch of psych majors and people who can really get to the heart of why people feel and think the way they do and how do they respond and what messaging works, what messaging doesn't work, and the psychology of the marketing around our breast cancer campaign. So I think you got we got a think tank here of like subject matter experts on this. So it's super exciting. Can I ask a question? What would you say to people who might be watching? Like there's a lot of survivors and thrivers watching who are new to social media. They're kind of not really sure how to get their footing, or they're just sort of, like me, and they're just, that's still called the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, and the Twitter. How do those people, if they want to get started doing some of this and posting, how do they get started? Any suggestions or advice?
Hashtags.
Hashtags
is kind of like how you search posts, and
pound sign.
I've been trying to tell Ricky that she needs to put more hashtags on the touch posts, but
tell us more about that. Yeah, tell us more.
Okay, so
if
you go on the search bar on any social media and just type the hashtag like breast cancer, hashtag self-exam, hashtag every single post, and it'll tell you how many posts are on there. It'll be like 16,000 posts on breast exam. So I feel like even if you get on TikTok, you search breast exam, there are 5 million TikToks on the breast exam. So it's literally just searching the words nowadays. They have like made it that simple to find those resources.
Great. So we need to do a better job on our social media. I know that Sid's been trying to help Dr. Mo out with her social media, but we need you guys to help us communicate better, and also think of ways, like we're kind of dependent on you now to talk to your peers, because I don't think anyone your age is looking at my Instagram. So, but I know women aren't looking at, I know there's a big Instagram community in the breast cancer community for older Black women like me, that we do have a pretty big presence, and there's a lot of conversations happening. So, but then we also have people who don't have Facebook. We often get the thing, well, I can't watch your show because I don't have Facebook. So we're trying to make the show available on YouTube and other outlets, because even people aren't engaged. They're afraid something's going to happen. They're afraid about security. But I think this is a great place to have a conversation, because we can talk. It's not a one-way street. It's not like an ad showing up like the truck on your campus. It's opening up a conversation between people, which I think is so vital for this issue.
Okay, how do you measure impact? How do we know that the messages we're putting out are actually having some effect? Do people share your posts and they like your posts? And what else? How can we measure if the things we're doing are working? What do you think? And Deja.
You will see the gain of your followers. You probably should start putting more stuff on stories, so that you can maybe when it comes to, because you guys are a public page, if you were to post on your story, people are allowed to send that to other people, and it goes on and on and on, like a domino effect. So that, I think, but honestly, I feel like the Instagram is perfect. I use for some of my days to post, I use some of the posts that you guys put up and stuff like that. But yeah, that will be a way to gain followers. Yeah, I think that would be a good way.
I think followers and viewers too. Like if you see how many people view your story, you're like, oh, I'm doing something right. I mean,
Right.
y'all know social media, like, wow, I'm doing something
And
right.
sometimes the viewers will be higher than the followers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I made
I don't get Instagram stories, so that's another conversation. Y'all have to help me out with that later. I know,
all right, make sure you help Miss Ricky.
I know.
I'm struggling with it. Sydney's been helping
I
me
know.
out with it. I'm like, Sydney, how do I repost somebody else's story? What do I do? It's a little bit tricky. And then what about Twitter? Are you guys active on Twitter? Because I have some friends who that's all they use, and they are blowing up Twitter. But it seems like there's some generational things between Instagram and Twitter, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
Twitter's
I feel
pretty
like
good.
older people also use Twitter because it's like very news heavy. Like I was saying, like newspaper, I think of Twitter, like it'll tell you all the articles. And like, I mean, politicians are on Twitter nowadays. Like they be tweeting too. So like,
Right.
I mean, I feel like Twitter is really informative. And I mean, Twitter's been stepping its game up on like going live and like all types of things like that. So I mean, we could even make a touch Twitter. That could be a thing, and just send tweets out. But Dr. Mo, don't ever call it the Twitter again. You literally said the Twitter. I was like,
Like, you know me. I'd be like, can you put it on the Instagram?
I know. Well, but there are a lot of doctors on Twitter, Mo, I would say. And for us too, even like we get retweeted by SABCS and some
A lot
of
of
the researchers. And so I feel like our Twitter presence may be even better than our Instagram, just because I'm more comfortable with Twitter, frankly. But
all right, Sydney, we got our work to do on Twitter. It's true, because we got some heavy hitters following us, so we gotta live up to it and give the people what they want.
We got it. So good.
And I think it's all so important to promote messages about prevention, about lifestyle. It's not just about 1 in 8 and breast cancer facts. Like you guys have the opportunity to post some really interesting stuff. So what directions do you think you would like to go in next? Are we going to do live cooking? Are we going to do some other things like TikToks? Are you guys on TikTok too?
I made a couple TikToks
for the program.
Yes, I was like, let me try to do something different. I turned myself into a meme.
You did?
How you do that?
Okay, so there's like different. Sorry.
Ari's laughing at you.
Because there's different trends on TikTok. And so one trend is like POV memes, like, oh, POV, you just found out something. So I did one of those with like our facts. That one, but TikTok is also very hit or miss. Like some you can get a lot of views or you can't. I made another TikTok just kind of introducing like touch and like what touch stands for and like where to find the Twitter and Instagram and everything. And that one got 592 views.
Wow, can we post that on our Facebook? What you post?
Mhm. I can
Okay.
send it. Yes.
That for me. Yeah.
Because I was like, let me try and do something different. And yeah. But
I'm
not-
glad to see the younger generation being able to teach the older generation, you know, things. It's very nice.
I know. Well, we need you for that. Are you kidding?
I'm not taking it personally, Ari. I'm not taking it personally.
I don't care. I'm happy about that, Mo. We need them.
It's
I mean,
true.
my little cousin was teaching me how to make a TikTok when I first downloaded it. I was like, these younger generations, they're really taking over. So I hope they
It's
take
been
over and push
beautiful.
4-day work weeks because
Yeah.
I'm looking for
We
that.
wouldn't have been able to survive though. Think about it. If we did not learn how to use social media and how to use Zoom, how to work remotely, all these things over the last year and a half, you know, these are things that have really helped us, even as physicians, right? Our medical practices. We can conference with people in different parts of the country now. We can see more patients and do more things, and we're more connected as a result of that, you know. And so we have a lot to thank you guys for, because now people are like, wait a minute, you mean I don't have to go into an office all the time? You mean I can be home and be more productive and still watch my kids and still get all my work done and still exercise? And
Right.
so, you know, the technology explosion has been a wonderful thing. So I don't think people can say anything bad about millennials or zennials, you know?
Right. I mean, I think we've all learned so much, and it's a different way to live that's working now. So even you guys having to do school remotely, you know, like, now you're back on campus at Howard, but I know last year was rough, right? So when you were an intern, even last year, you were at home, and it was a different environment for how to go to college, right? So you guys, we want this internship to grow. We want to get bigger. We want to bring in more interns next year, and we need you guys to recruit. And we also want to create an intern community. Like, so we're not letting you go away. Ari definitely will never go away. You guys will never go away, Deja. Once you're here, Deja, you're stuck with us. So how can we kind of keep this family growing and involve more young women and keep you guys engaged? Thank God that Ari kind of took this challenge on and is helping us out to basically kind of take care of you guys. But we want to keep it going. We want to make it bigger. And thank God for our sponsor, Gilead, for helping us, have funding to keep you guys, involved and working. And you know how I feel about school too. How do you do it in a way that you're still going to get straight A's? Because I want you to get straight A's and go to medical school or grad school or whatever you need to do. And Ari got straight A's all through her cancer. So if she can do that, y'all can do that too. So that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. Wow. This is
But B's are good too.
No, they're not. They're not.
They're
They're
good,
not the
but
same.
nursing school
See,
is super competitive. Medical school is very competitive. So I'm gonna say aim high and try to get some credit out of these things, and try to really encourage the clubs and the organizations to partner with groups like us, because I think that's when it takes off too. One person doing it is great, but if the whole science club, if the whole, whatever group it is, like when we went to FAM, we had a whole Philly club, we had different regions, all sorts of things, but like get everybody involved, because everybody knows somebody who's been impacted by breast cancer. Amazing fundraisers you can do, awareness activities. Me and Ricky gonna be trying to come to campuses, 2022, 2023, we going on a world tour, and we're bringing that knowledge to your campuses. So we definitely need you to get everybody ready for it.
I gotta be a part of some of that world tour. So
No,
y'all let me know.
Girl, don't worry, we got you. But you know what, you guys reinforced something that I think is so important, this whole secrecy thing.
Yeah.
That's something that I really want to do some more work on and tackle, because one of the biggest things we're going to be talking about next year is getting more Black women into clinical trial research. And if we're not even talking about breast cancer and just illness, to talk about clinical trials and how we can kind of get rid of the problem, we've got to really go there and kind of dig into how we can make these conversations in our Black families happen. So we're going to challenge you to help us figure out how to do that better. And I'm glad that, you know, it's interesting because all of your moms, you know, when they opened up to you, you had really good conversations, but maybe had you not brought it up, they may not have, right? Or even with, you know, Kayla's mom who had breast cancer, she didn't tell her. So we've got to do better around that. We've got to get women talking about it. And so you guys, we need you for that. You guys are sort of the way into the family conversations. And one of the things that, and Thanksgiving is coming, we do on Thanksgiving in my family is I make everybody talk about their numbers. What's your blood pressure? What's your A1C? Did you get your mammogram? Did you get your PSA tested before they can eat the turkey? And they hate me for it, but I force the conversation. What are you thankful for? And I've helped a lot, you know, a couple of them stop smoking, lost weight. So, you know, we have to like force it. So I think this Thanksgiving, I want you to do the same thing before they can eat the turkey. I want you to get people to talk about health, like how healthy is our family? How, you know, what are we dealing with? And talk about the internship so we can keep our family safe and healthy, you know?
So Ricky, can I say something quickly?
Yeah.
I think that what would be interesting is to look at communities or HBCUs that are in rural areas.
Val, can you turn your camera on?
Okay,
There we go, because it was like a ghost.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what would be interesting is to look at HBCUs in rural areas as opposed to an urban area like Howard. So it's a different population than, let's say, in rural North Carolina. And you would be surprised at the stories that the students could tell you, which would probably be no stories at all. Grandmother definitely is not going to talk about any kind of cancer, and neither is mother. So there is a disparity, just disparity in communication amongst African Americans, depending on, you know, where your school is and resources. So you may have a HBCU in a rural area, but the cancer center might be 2 or 3 hours away. And
Yeah.
the resources don't trickle down to those areas. And so
Yeah.
that's a challenge in and of itself.
So
So
we'll
it's
reach
just something to think about as we, recruit students,
Love that,
Look,
Val. That's
in
great.
those areas.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We had a
Yeah.
request for some Latinx interns as well to reach our brown communities, and I think it's a really important consideration. But Val, you're right. The rural versus inner city and urban, just the upbringing, the conversations is different. The diet, the food, everything, the way that we move, the way we talk is so different, and it's important to recognize those regional differences. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I know, you know, we had an intern from Prairie View, and she had a different experience even from Prairie View versus Howard and FAMU. So we'll look to expand our program to more schools. And you guys, you know, you guys is how we find other interns. So we need you to get the word out to your friends and you know, bring us some more interns, because we're going to do this, keep this going. I know, you know, you guys have a few more weeks left. I'll miss you when you're gone, but I know you'll stay. I'm gonna be all over you, so we won't really lose you. All right,
We'll be training the next generation of
yeah,
interns.
you have to train the next
We got
group.
Texas Southern coming up. I got one from Dell
Yeah.
State. We got
Yeah.
Cheney.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do them. Bring them out.
Yeah, so we have more work to do, and we're so grateful for you. So grateful for you. And I know you guys have finals coming up, so get those A's and talk to your friends, keep posting about breast health and all health, you know, and talk to, you know, over the holidays, talk to everybody in your family, talk to all the women in your families, your aunties, your grandmas, and both sides, because I think you learn a lot even from both sides of your family, you know, not just your mom. And talk to your uncles even, but talk about, you know, I bet you'll find out some other secrets that you don't know yet, right? So we got to get those secrets out on the table. And we will be coming to a college near you soon. So look out for that. We definitely are going to be on Howard campus in the spring, and probably down at Spelman in the spring. So we're working on that right now. So
I get down to FAMU, my alma mater.
FAMU and FAMU. I think those are going to be our three for the spring semester, Mo. FAMU, Howard, and Spelman. For more information on that.
Well,
And I didn't get to attend a HBCU, so I'm gonna be living all through that. I'm like,
I
yes,
know.
yes. But I actually did just find out that Howard had a radiation therapy program. I swear I didn't know that. But I mean, it's shut down now, so I guess it doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
they do
but
have
yeah.
a medical school, a medical
That's right.
school. I said a medical school. All right.
a DO program, a DO
A
program.
medical school, all right, a
We
medical
got
school.
you. Morgan State's going to be opening up an osteopathic medical school, and I happen to know who the new president will be. So, yeah, we'll
Where is
talk
that at?
in Baltimore, outside Baltimore.
Yeah.
Why you keep trying to have
You
You'll
me
be
said
in my
Morgan
neighborhood.
State?
Mm-hmm.
You'll be
Mm-hmm.
in my neighborhood.
Yep,
Yeah,
Morgan
that's
State's
good.
going to have a
Can I say
medical
quick-
school.
Can I
So,
say something real quick, Ricky?
please.
Yeah.
Let me turn on my camera.
This is Ngozi from Gilead. How are
Hi,
you?
hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you. You guys are doing excellent, excellent work. We're just truly grateful by your hard work, the peer-to-peer interaction and education you've been doing on campuses, talking to your families. We're excited about where this program can go. And you mentioned HBCUs in rural areas, Valerie. I'm like, my ears are just buzzing. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about it and think through how we can do that to learn more, so we can see the differences and the disparities on both sides. So just want to say thank you. And we are super grateful for all of you.
Thank
We're
you
grateful
for
you.
Thank you.
taking care of us. We couldn't do it without you, girl. So thank you so much. They've been such a joy to work with us and giving us to work with you. It's a gift. It's a gift for all of us. So thank you. Thank you. So next week, we're actually going to feature community organizations that need money to raise for Giving Tuesday, Mo. So
Good.
this is their Thanksgiving. You'll be in your kitchen cooking, but join us for that show. And you guys will hear more from our interns. We're going to write an article about you guys on blackdoctor.org
Definitely.
and tell your stories more and more to come. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Let us know what's next. Let us know where we should be headed with the program. And as
Yeah.
always, we hope this has been relatable and
Yes.
reliable and real, right? It's what we set out to do every
Every week.
Wednesday night, not just for breast cancer thrivers and survivors, but for young people on social media and who need to have these conversations with their family too. So this has been a really relatable show for a group of folks who, maybe can't always relate to the stuff that we talk about, but this week they
Right.
could.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much. We
The
love you.
doctor's in.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
Thank
Breasty
you.
love. Doctor is in. Breasty love.
Aw.
There it is.
Breasty love. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.